So last year's beaten finalist, getting this second round match underway. And Steen, just to back up the point that you made there, you look at Victor Axelsen's results this year, of course, final in the Australian Super Series, final in India Super Series, and final, of course, in Japan as well. Yeah. And then the next tournaments...
He lost first round.
Yep. So he doesn't have that stamina to go through one week after another, keeping that level going, and that's understandable for a 21-year-old.
I think he gets so disappointed by losing those finals, and if you have to travel, then there's not a lot of time to sort of get your mind together and regroup, and you meet good players next week again. So getting that first Super Series, that could be crucial. I watched the final in Japan. I felt he had a big chance there. I felt his game was really enough to win it, but strong comeback by Lindan.
Yeah, it was a magnificent final, an hour and 18 minutes. Having been 11-3 up in that third game, Victor Axelsen, Lindan. Well, there's a reason why Lindan is such a great champion.
Yeah.
You were talking about Simon Ewell in our last match, that refusal to give up.
Yeah. To be hard to beat, that's always good.
Yeah.
Well played by someone who... This is a very tricky match for Victor because he's the seeded player, and I don't think a lot of the fans here in Denmark really appreciate how good a player someone who really is. I don't think most of them know that Victor is down 2-0 in individual games. The tricky thing about it is that he's on my top 5 list of most disappointing players through the last 12 months, because I really thought last year, after he reached the final here in Denmark and won the Hong Kong Open, I thought he was one of the new stars, one of the ones who challenged Chen Long and Lee Chong Wei, but he's had a very disappointing year since the Super Series finals. He had to withdraw. I don't know if it was due to injury, but it seems like he's about to get back to form, according to the last 2 tournaments. Beat Lindan in Korea.
I think, in all fairness, I thought at the first Super Series event of the year, the All England Championships, I thought the entire Korean team looked as if they'd had their holiday then. You talked about Simon Ewell, you know, maybe taking a little bit of a break, you know, and I felt that the entire Korean team had been on very hard physical training because they knew that they wouldn't have another break until after the Olympics. And I think the entire Korean team are now coming good. Sung Ji-hyun won the women's singles in Korea.
And has been playing well.
Yeah, men's doubles are coming good too. Mixed doubles.
Women's doubles.
Yeah.
And we also know that for the Korean players, military service is also an issue.
Yes.
So, definitely not an easy match for the seeded Dane. It's so important for Victor to follow up on his attack. He cannot attack and leave it on the front court or go back to playing 50-50 so the opponent feels that the defense is working. He needs to follow up and put pressure on especially a player like someone who was considered a little bit of a defensive player or a patient player, because it's not like he can't attack, but he prefers to do it after working the opponent around the court.
But that follow-up at the front of the court, I think, is absolutely crucial in men's. He's pushed it a little bit long. That backs up your theory again, see, about the drift. Slightly faster coming towards us.
But as in the beginning of this match, I heard Lars Uhr, I think he asked Victor, what about the wind? And he says, I think there's almost nothing. But yeah, that's of course good because it doesn't interfere with his game.
Yeah. Missed it. Well, that's a little bit wild.
9-6. I think we're going to see a bit of a battle here because I think someone who is sort of taking a more attacking, trying to play a more attacking style than we've seen him in other matches, and that's of course because you don't want to lift to a player that's 192 centimeters high.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if it's exactly, but he's over 190.
I had him down as 193.
Yeah, I think you're right. Oh, he guessed that one. Oh.
Oh, my goodness me.
Yeah.
Well, line judge is saying unsighted.
Yeah, I think.
So is it the umpire that's...
That's out.
Ooh, are you sure?
Yeah. She called it good. She was just about to call it good and then covered her eyes. She didn't want to see it was out.
Well, we're waiting for Hawkeye to adjudicate for us. Here we go. Yeah, was out. Well done, Steen. There's Mazua. Used to be your assistant coach, didn't he? When you were the boss?
Yes, he did.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. More initiative now from Son Wan Ho. Oh my goodness. What a rally. Super play.
Two gigantic steps.
Yeah.
Wow.
final in Japan, I thought with Victor Axelsen, I thought when it got crucial, his round-the-head shot, where he was showing real tension, and that's when he started making mistakes, just like that.
Yeah.
I don't see that fluid movement that you see in the earlier stages of matches, or indeed most of the time with Lee Chong-wei or Lin Dan. He's too stiff in his upper.
Variation all the time, and now he tried twice here, and of course someone who should pick up on that from the backhand corner I actually defended successfully twice. Let's see if I can do that again.
Yeah. Well, a 3-point advantage for Victor Axelsen here at the mid-game interval.
Hvad vil du? Jeg bliver ved med så langt frem på banen. Og så jeg bliver ved med at være opmærksom på, at der lige kommer en ekstra over. Jeg tror, der har man angrebet. Ja. Hvor vil du gerne angribe ham hen? Jeg vil gerne have nogle variationer med til baghånd nu. Ja. Jeg har prøvet lige på gangen, og jeg vil gerne se, om jeg kan få variationer med til hans baghånd, ikke? Jo. Både bare behøver ikke så hårdt hver gang, bare lige holde nedad, så videre. Lige præcis. De der hurtige afviklinger til baghånden vil være gode. Og der er også plads på kroppen. Den har vi heller ikke misbrugt endnu. Ja. Okay? Ja.
Well, immediately we saw the difference with the European style of coaching. We saw in the women's singles where Sato was just telling his player what to do. The first thing that I noticed was that he was asking Lars.
There was questions. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
And the guy next to Lars is Victor's mental coach. So that's something that they've discussed not only for this match, but this is part of it. That in order to sort of gain ownership of the tactic, Victor says what he wants to do, and one of the things he wants to do is he wants to get variation in his attack. He wants to attack a little bit to the backhand side of Son Ho as well. It doesn't necessarily need to be hard, and he's ready to play on if it's a good defense, but he needs to get variation into it, and he wants to stand close to the net, control the front court, and I think that's crucial. And then Lars Ulrich made a very good point that the body smash has not been open. Use it a little bit more as well, so that you variate your smashes, and if the lifts are well placed by someone, a clear might also come in handy in order to sort of let you know that what a fantastic reaction there.
So sorry, I interrupted you. I got so excited by seeing this extraordinary shot. How on earth did he make contact with that? But when were you saying you wanted the clear?
That was my own opinion. That I thought when the lifts from someone who are really good, then instead of attacking every time, once in a while, an attacking clear might be well placed in order to keep him guessing whether it's on the first chance, the second chance, or the third chance I'm going to attack. Victor was onto it himself, but he shouldn't be afraid of letting Shaq in the game either, because his defense has improved as well. And, very good start on the match from Victor Axelsen. It's going to be a long, tough match, this one, I suspect.
And do you think the Korean part of his tactics, I know it's his style of play anyway, that you said earlier on he's a little defensive at times, he appears defensive, he just keeps getting everything back.
Patient.
But is that part of the specific tactics to play against Axelsen?
That's his normal style. I think he tried to attack a little bit more to prevent Victor from attacking, but now I think he's more or less forced to go back to this more patient style again. And so who can actually keep the quality on the shots when the pulse gets a little bit high?
Yeah.
I think one of the areas where Victor has improved is the movement. He's working with a gymnastics coach in order to keep his agility. The same gymnastics coach that worked with Peter Gade in the later part of his career.
Interesting.
So it's not only strength training, it's also agility.
And I would have thought for a tall player, that's absolutely vital.
Exactly, exactly. There's been a lot of persons in Denmark questioning whether Victor would be able to make it to the top because he's so tall, and movement is such a crucial part of badminton. But I mean, look at the basketball players in NBA and in US. They're really, really agile.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of practicing the right stuff.
Well, I think Novak Djokovic, world #1 tennis player, is the same height, isn't he, as Victor Axelsen, and look how agile he is.
Yeah.
Well taken. That's well taken off the top of the tape. Yeah, it was hovering. Yeah. Ready to pounce.
Great shot.
Yeah.
Great shot.
No, it just seemed to leap from the base position
Exactly.
there.
Exactly. Very efficient. But you really need to be strong in your legs, and if there's something we know about the Koreans, it is that they're really, really strong physically.
Now you see, that's where I think he needs to improve.
Yeah. But also, he's got a good lead now. Now he can't play passive, but he can afford to play to a draw for a number of rallies, just exchanging points. Great shot.
Yeah.
Excellent shot.
30-60.
Yeah, just asks for the court to be mopped. Victor Axelsen. Very fortuitous time. Big Arsenal fan is Victor Axelsen. He'll be hoping that he's not watching on Saturday against Watford. He'll hope that he's busy here. Second in the Premier League at the moment, Arsenal. Doing well.
Doing well.
30-60.
Oh, look at the anticipation there.
And we've seen him do that on a number of occasions. He did that against Lindan.
Yeah.
70-30.
And that creates uncertainty with the opponent.
Lucky than not called.
Could have been a mistake, or it could have been a flat smash that would be easy retrievable for the Korean.
Yeah, look at that, thundering off the top of the tape. Three points from the opening game. Did you catch that?
No.
No.
Sometimes he tends to talk a lot to the coaches, or the coaches talk a lot to him, and I think that's a fine line on how much you want to communicate.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. What a net shot from someone. Oh,
40-90.
clever play from someone who very clever.
Because of the direction of the shot or because of the disguise?
Because the disguise and the lack of power. It's coming down really, really steep. The first one, good thing to do for Victor on the first one is to keep it short. And the second one,
90.
Came off the frame of the racket, forcing the error. And 5 game point opportunities for Victor Axelsen. It's going wide. Yeah. First time of asking. Number 16, Victor Axelsen, takes the opening game against last year's beaten finalist, Sung-Won Ho, and comfortable too, 21-15. 21 minutes needed. Yeah, that was a clever smash, wasn't it, from Sung-Won Ho, but well dealt with by the tall man.
Så det er det med at holde de lige baner, men samtidig lige huske de afsluttede afviklinger til hans bagenside, specielt fordi man de har ikke fået fandensprang efter i forhånd.
Nej.
Men ellers så klar på, at han måske kommer ind op til starten.
Men jeg synes, de der angreb på baghånden, det skal være på gode chancer. Altså, det er sådan set ikke, det behøver ikke være de hurtige afviklinger. At det er mere, når du går hårdt, så helt ind på kroppen. Det er du også begyndt med nu, hvor den ikke sidder der lige herude, men hvor den kommer helt ind i navlen, ikke? Det virker rigtig godt.
Ja. Det er med at lave de her temposkift til nettet.
Lige præcis. Og det hele taget temposkift. Der må også gerne være temposkift nedad. Ja. At hvis det er, han spiller, altså hvis han får spillet med kvalitet, og du hænger en lille smule, så løft den over ham, og lad ham komme. Ikke? Ja. Okay. Så vi får balance i det.
Ja. Det ved jeg. Det er med at holde.
Ja. Og så ind og vise ham tempoet fra starten her. Ja. At han kommer til at skrue på og prøve at...
Altså det er ham, der tager pausen. Han har det. Altså,
ja.
For de lange dueller, der skal han spille mange af.
Lige præcis.
Ja.
Ja.
Tak.
Well, you can give us a full translation of that in just a minute, Steen, but the first thing I noticed is there didn't seem to be any talk from the mental coach.
No. And I think that's an agreement between the association and the coach. There's only one talking. And that's also a big difference from many of the Asian countries. That the European coach is normally one person doing the talking. And if I were coaching, I wouldn't have another one interfering.
Well, they must be pretty pleased with Victor Axelsen. 1 game to the good. What were they adding to
Yeah, they were
that?
talking a little bit about the attack, where it should be placed. Talked about the body smash again, and Victor wanting to attack a little bit to the backhand side as well. He's very alert that he hasn't been challenging his long forehand. Very important judgment there from someone who, because I think Victor is a little bit off in his judgment that there's no wind. So important for him to keep the first one in.
Yeah.
And emphasizing, they were emphasizing as well that Victor has played well. It's a very well playing someone who we're seeing here.
Victor Axelsen challenges in.
Well, challenge here from Victor Axelsen. It was good commitment from Sung-Won Ho coming forward. Of course, we're sitting the opposite end of the court to where that call was made. Very difficult for us to say, but instinctively thought that it was probably a good call.
Yeah.
But obviously Victor Axelsen is much closer than we are. Sometimes you just need reassurance, don't you?
Yeah. Sometimes you just raise your hand.
Yeah. Oh, wow, what a great challenge. What a challenge.
And those are the shots that are worth challenging, as opposed to shuttles that sort of comes vertically down. Because it's really hard for the line judges to judge whether
where the cork
hits inside or outside when it sort of slides. Yeah, what I was saying was that they were emphasizing that Victor has been playing well, and I totally agree. I think he's been playing really well. I think Son Wan-ho is on his way back to form, and I think we're going to see that in perhaps this match, but definitely the next couple of tournaments. I think he's been playing with speed and doing well. He's not played a bad match, Son Wan-ho, but Victor's sort of scored his own points.
Yeah. Good smash.
There's the body smash.
Yeah. That's good judgment.
It makes it more difficult to defend the quick attack to the sides when you have to sort of be worried about the body smash as well. He's so good at picking up on these little advantages, and of course also his improved movement allows him to take a chance like this, because if it's a clear, he can still play on and just go on with the rally.
This is a very, very good start to the second game, and I just sense that Son Wan-ho is saying to himself, now I've got to deviate from my normal game plan.
Yeah.
I've got to do something different.
Yeah. They were discussing in between the games that he might come out attacking a bit more and talking about changes of pace in Victor's own game, and I think, of course, it's a very, very good start to the second game here. Because there's a long way to go now for Son. Oh, that's wide.
Oh, goodness me. You see, now that's, again, makes me think he's trying to play something that he wouldn't normally play.
Yeah.
No, it was definitely wide, no question.
That's exactly what you're looking for when you're playing. I mean, if you can beat your opponent at the opponent's strong points, then it's up to the opponent to try to beat me on my weak points.
Yeah.
And the game that he's not so confident in playing.
7-love.
This is what really is annoying, thinking back on the Japan Open final, because I don't think Victor he realizes how good he is. He's, in my opinion, way better than Lin Dan, and he should have won that third game easily.
Yeah. But
he lost.
He lost his 4th Super Series tournament final,
yes.
And you said earlier, you know, winning that first Super Series is crucial.
Yep.
And I'm thinking immediately of a Japanese player, Tago. 7 times he's lost in a Super Series tournament final. He's never won. And where is Tago now?
Yeah.
The poor man is struggling big time. And that getting over that final hurdle and winning that first Super Series I mean, he's already showing that he's got confidence,
Yeah.
but I think it will take him to an even higher plane.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah. 9 love. Crikey. I wouldn't have predicted this.
No, neither would I.
Yeah. That's clever. Yeah, I like the idea.
But he tends to overdo those shots. I mean, they don't have to sit on the line. He can just play on. That's what he set in between at the interval in the first game. So I can hit it and just play on. Well, then do that.
Yeah.
This one is for the line. He's in control of the rally. He's got perfectly good chances of playing on. But that comes with experience.
Yeah.
For Son, if I were him, I would try to sort of break the rhythm a little bit. Get some points, no matter how. See if I can stay in it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
So, a 9-point advantage here in the second game, having already won the first. And Victor Axelsen, well, I was going to say looks in cruise control. That's not what I mean at all, but he's looking very confident,
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Hans samme rød. Samme vej. Og så hele tiden være bunker, og man holder net. Eller man lige ligger og løfter næste gang. Ja. Og så vil jeg have variationen med et andet løft til et andet hjørne, fordi han står og venter på det næste. Ja, lige præcis det samme.
Du kan godt invitere til det net der, hvis du gerne vil op og lukke en.
Ja, nemlig.
Så hold en lige over, og så blive stående, ikke?
Ja. Jeg vil lukke ned med at spille.
Ja. Og så på her. Så står med 10, så ind og spil ham. Kom så.
Anything of significance there?
Pretty much what they have discussed throughout the entire match. Some technicalities about the net and the lifts and so on. So let's see how it goes. That's a little long. Good shot.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Just rolling the racket head as he came forward to play that winning shot.
And that prevents it from going long. If he just pushes, it's probably going to go long, but just...
That's perfect, isn't it? Look at that.
Twisting it a little bit takes out some of the power.
Oh, yes.
Well placed.
Service over. 3-12.
Is he moving a little bit back from the front court, Victor? I'm not sure.
Yeah, possibly.
There it was. well played. I see what you mean, Jill, that the backhand side has loosened up a little bit now.
Yes.
So the flick is a little bit nastier.
That to me is one of those provoked errors that you were talking about earlier in the day. Oh my goodness me, what on earth was that?
A head deception. Really getting through with his attack, someone and that must be frustrating. You can actually withstand the attack of Victor in his defense, but when he attacks himself, he can't get through.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Only looked in the opposite direction, but no disguise with the racket at all.
Oh, what was that? Shook his shoulder.
He tends to have a bit of a twitch in his shoulder anyway, doesn't he?
I thought we were going to see a much closer second game.
Yeah, me too.
Service over, 460.
Somehow got steamrolled, someone hope.
Attacking shots by Victor Axelsen today has been absolutely superb. Look at this.
Great view of the game and control. This is one of the matches, one of the evenings where you feel that everything is sort of rolling.
Yeah, you're in the
game.
zone.
You're in the zone. Oh, that stays in as well.
That's incredible. Total dominance.
Really challenging the net every time he's put Son under pressure. Not at all afraid of the play to the backcourt.
Overdone it.
19-4.
There's virtually no resistance now from Son Ho. Well, he overcommitted there.
Yeah. Oi.
Service over.
And it's fine balance, isn't it, between that
Yeah,
real pressurising and over-committing.
Yeah.
That's good. It's a good lift too.
Oi.
690.
Points are plenty. Well, remember, of course, there's only 2 places difference on the world ranking. And, well, he's going to win this match. Victor Axelsen, but...
Hats off to someone for still giving it its best.
Yeah. Yeah, it was clever. Half-pace smash from Victor Axelsen. And to have that sort of scoreline, 21-15, 21-6 against a player only ranked 2 places lower, is extraordinary. You're right, Steve. He was in the zone today, was Victor Axelsen.
di
Ini
Alkitab.
nggak mau makan, sopnya enak loh.
Berikut ini adalah keterangan tentang